Welcome back to Western New York Living and the Big Whack Radio Local Business Spotlight segment.
Welcome back to Western New York Living. Well, I'm sure plenty of you have seen the orange buses and the flashing lights and those arms that come out throughout the week as a new school year has begun, which is why we thought it'd be a great time to get caught up on all the laws that pertain to school bus safety and, unfortunately, school bus accidents. Joining us this morning is a man who always has head of the class, Stephen Ciocca from Cellino Law. Thanks again for joining us this Saturday.
Good to see you, Kevin.
Well, unfortunately, despite all of us knowing to look out for school buses, school bus accidents do occur from time to time. If someone's child's been involved, has been on a bus that's been in an accident and they get hurt, who pays the medical bills?
So this is kind of an interesting question and an interesting answer. Believe it or not, the primary coverage comes from the child's parents' automobile insurance policy under their no-fault or personal injury protection. Even though that kid was not in their parents' vehicle and their parents' vehicle has nothing to do with it, their coverage becomes primary when their child is involved in a school bus accident.
That is a surprising answer.
I know it is.
All right, there's probably some folks who have their kids ride the bus that don't own a vehicle. So then who pays?
Every vehicle in New York State is required to have no-fault coverage, including school buses. So in that situation, the school bus's no-fault can kick in, or if there's a question or an issue about that, then the parent's health insurance would kick in. Under no circumstances, however, would it be the vehicle that was involved in the crash with the school bus who would pay the child's medical bills, even if that vehicle was at fault. I know.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to make sense, but you would know. All right. Well, let's avoid accidents. Let's go over some rules on the road here. How far away should a vehicle stop from a school bus with flashing red lights?
So flashing red lights, as we know, means stop, as does the arm that you just talked about. That means stop. Cars have to stop at least 20 feet away from a school bus, and that encompasses, if a school bus is at a four-way intersection, every vehicle at that intersection has to stop and stop at least 20 feet away from that school bus.
If you see the stop sign out, no matter where you are on the road, you should stop.
You are. New York State has what's called a divided highway law, which means even if, let's say you're going northbound and the school bus is stopped southbound, and you're like, I'm nowhere near that school bus, I'm way across the road, it doesn't matter. You have to still stop for that school bus. So regardless of which direction you're going, whether you're behind the bus or approaching the bus from the front, you have to stop.
Yeah, there are some kids who cross the street and the school bus driver will direct them when to cross the street.
Absolutely.
Yellow flashing lights. Slow down? What does that mean, yellow flashing lights?
So yellow flashing lights mean a lot like a traffic signal does. It's sort of a warning to motorists to pay extra attention. When it comes to a school bus, you are allowed to pass a flashing yellow light school bus. There's nothing wrong with it. I see people all the time stopping and it drives me crazy. It just means be careful. You do not have to stop for flashing yellow lights, but it does warn you that the flashing red lights are probably close behind.
All right, what if a bus driver is at fault for an accident? Can a parent bring a claim against the bus company, the school district, the bus driver? How does that work?
All of the above. The thing that parents need to be aware of, though, is school buses are typically owned or operated by a municipality, which shortens your time frame. So if your child is involved in a school bus accident that is the fault of the school bus driver, you have to be aware of what's called a notice of claim requirement, which gives you 90 days to file a notice of claim against the municipality if you're going to bring a claim against that school bus.
What about the responsibility of the school district to keep the kids safe? For example, seat belts. Does every seat have to have a seat belt?
So that's an interesting one as well. I mean, we know driving cars, we have to have seat belts on. Since 1989, school buses have been supposed to be manufactured with seatbelts. However, there is still no law in New York State which requires students on a bus to wear seatbelts, even if they're available. Some bus drivers or school districts may take it upon themselves to say, hey, listen, we're going to make it a requirement that you do that, but New York State law does not require those kids to wear a seatbelt.
All right, that's surprising, actually. But you think about the school buses we rode back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was no padding on those seats
no.
whatsoever.
No.
Well, we want everybody to be safe with school buses, but things do happen. The personal injury attorneys at Cellino Law represent injury victims throughout New York State. If you've been involved in any type of accident, including if your child, which we hope doesn't happen, has been involved in a school bus accident, Cellino Law can help. Their office is located at 800 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. For more information, you can give Cellino Law a call. It's all eights. You can also head to their website at cellinolaw.com to learn more about all the different legal services that Cellino Law provides.